Tuesday edition of the Sports Cage for Saskatchewan Lotteries, main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in the great province of Saskatchewan. How you doing out there? Colson is with me. I will have a co-host riding shotgun sometime this hour. Greg from the Piffles podcast will come in and join us. 3 hours for you. We're going to talk, information overload.
What are we going to talk about?
If you haven't heard, the CFL is changing their playoff format starting next year. We're going to get into that. CFL draft day. Why wouldn't you release it on CFL draft day? The CFL draft day starts about 5 our time. We're expecting the Riders to pick around 6 o'clock. NHL last night, NHL tonight. U of R women's basketball. The right decisions made. McCulloch Kleisinger back coaching the team. That's great. How about, I know a lot of you in Regina anyways, and I know there's a lot of you across the whole province, but maybe you've caught wind of this. They released the artist renderings. Is that what we call it, Colson?
I think that's the right term, yeah.
Sure. Of what Mr. Semple and Brandt group of companies has planned for...
Here's the official title. The Renovation Concepts for the Brandt Center.
The Renovation Concepts.
We got a PowerPoint for you, everybody.
What font did they use there?
Don't worry. Good question. Let me find out.
It's impressive. It's say what you want. Have fun with it. Joke around. But you see those pictures, and we're going to go through them in a bit. Impressive. Like I said, Greg from the Piffles podcast is in hour 2. Arash Madani. Arash is going to want to jump in about the Cougars basketball coach thing, about the CFL new playoff format coming, about Arash is just going to want to get in on everything. I thought it would be really interesting today to chat with an official that's coached or that's reffed some pro hockey, some international hockey, a lot of junior hockey. So Tarrington Wyonzek is going to join us in hour 2. I want to get his take on that goal the other night in Anaheim, the goal that moved Anaheim closer to eliminating the Edmonton Oilers. So that's in hour 2. Hour 3, Glen Suitor. And Pump Jacks Cathedral trivia. We might have to change our trivia question to do something CFL playoff form. We got a CFL draft question today. How much are we playing for? Is it 50 or 100? Colson's going to look into it for Pump Jacks Cathedral. Glen Suitor. And maybe before we wrap it all up, we know who the Riders are taking first in the draft. Because like I said, that's supposed to come down around 6 o'clock. Also, Western Hockey League. Forgot about this. Playoffs continue tonight in Medicine Hat. That series is tied 1-1. Medicine Hat and Prince Albert. Voice of the Prince Albert Raiders, Nick Nielson, will join us in about 30 minutes time here in hour 1. It's a busy show. It is. It was busy. And then Stewie, Mr. Stuart Johnston, the commissioner of the CFL, said, let's release the new playoff format we're thinking of for 2027 today. If you're watching the stream, this will be easier to make sense. We're going to walk through this together. You're always welcome to. I need your comments today. We need your comments. Good, bad, indifferent. 936-6262. Prairieland Rentals text line. I just found out Prairieland Rentals today, they have their crop of robotic lawnmowers coming in. So if you don't want to cut your lawn and you just want the little robot machine to do it, go and see Prairieland Rentals text line. It's not as difficult as you think. 600 Albert Street, you get to deal with the owner. Who wants to cut a lawn? I mean, just let a little robot guy do it. I have a little robot guy now. He's about turning 15 in a few weeks. But yeah, 936-6262. Your comments, please. Prairieland Rentals text line.
Where are we starting? Playoffs?
We have to start in the new playoff format.
Okay.
Draft is kind of taking a back seat.
Yeah. So
this is what it looks like. Again, if you're watching the stream, if you're not watching the stream and you're driving in your car, we'll try to explain the best you can. Guaranteed Greg, who's on his way here right now, is listening and critiquing. So then he sits down, he'll have a bunch of he'll critique me. Backwards hack guy. Here we go. If you finish first or second in the West or East, okay? So let's hypothetically say the Riders finish first, the Bombers finish second.
Sure.
Those two teams are going to play in round one.
Yes.
People are going, what? What? Okay, follow along. So then in the East, let's say Montreal finishes first and Ottawa finishes second. Those two teams are playing in round one.
Yeah.
You're going, what? So the winner of those two games, the 1-2 games, we're going to feel like I'm talking curling. The winner of the 1-2 games automatically go to the Grey Cup semifinal. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have one in the East, and you're going to have one from the West in the Grey Cup semifinal. If you lose that game as a 1 or 2 seed, you are not eliminated now. You get an extra life. It's like the old video games. Hey, I still have a life up there. Mario's not dead. You move on because now they're going to reseed everybody 5, 6, 7, 8. 7's going to play 6. 8's going to play 5. Then the winner of that advances to play the loser of the 1-2 game.
Yes.
It follow the bouncing ball, people. I know. I'm trying to, if you're not watching the show, I'm trying as best I can to explain this. Okay. So then in round 2, we got team that won the 6-7 game or the 8-5-8 game, play the loser of the 1-2. Okay. Then, of course, there's still the semifinal. So the winner of that will go play that team that won the 1-2 game in the semifinal. So now you got an East and you got a West, but you might have a West-West there, right?
Yeah.
And you could have an all-West or an all-East Grey Cup.
Yes.
What did I miss, Coulson?
I think you summarized it all pretty well. There's a lot of moving pieces in this. The gist of it is if you're in a 1 or a 2 and you win in round 1, you get a bye. So the bye is still in play. It's just you don't start with the bye.
Here's the thing. If you've listened to the show for the 2 years that I've been doing it, you know I like to joke around. I don't like taking things too seriously, especially this. We can get into serious stuff if you really want to get into serious stuff. If you're the 9th place team, you're a massive loser. Now, there's one team not making extra football.
Yeah. That's rough. And not to throw shade at the last place team from this last year too much, but Ottawa, who finished 9th this last year, was also the only team that went over the salary cap. I don't know if you saw that, which, again,
it's gonna be bad money management or something.
This whole thing of if you're not cheating, you're not trying or whatever, like, go over the salary cap. Don't go so far you start losing draft picks and there's extra problems. But like with how BC was spending their money, they didn't go over.
I'm okay losing draft picks if you win the Grey Cup.
Sure. And it's, again, how many are you losing? Because if you're starting to sacrifice really long term, then it's like, then we're going to have a long ways to go.
936-6262. Prairieland Rentals text line. Yes, Joel. Obviously, they want a 10th team.
Yeah.
You're saying Halifax. I'm going there in September again. I'll get some boots on the ground. I don't know if Halifax is going to be the play. For some reason, and this is just me, I think the easiest way, and I've said this on this show probably about 100 times, I think the easiest expansion is Quebec City.
Probably.
Instant rivalry. You kind of have a stadium there. Yes, it's not that big, but look around. Most teams aren't bringing in 25,000 people anymore. And that's not going to change. Mm-hmm. Get a better TV deal. Get more gambling money. However you need to do it. I think Quebec City is an easy 10. So, Joel, agree. Expansion. Joel's dipping into the States. He's saying St. Louis and Portland. I don't think we're ever going back there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think the other thing too, I don't think any Americans want it. Like I get it. Hey, Canada kicks, you know what, and we're proud, and I don't think they want it. Watch, if you ever get a chance to watch ESPN, you see the stuff on ESPN that gets ratings. Pickleball, roof ball. And so I personally don't think the U.S. thing. Oh, Dean's a regular, but Dean, that's a long text message. It's very hard to read. Can you maybe go through that one, Colson? Dane from Swift Current. This one's easier to read. I got the new head coach of the Swift Current Broncos coming on tomorrow, Dane. New playoff format is horrible. Can't have 8-9 teams in the playoffs, and the divisions don't matter. Just another domino in the death of the CFL. I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to give it the college try. I appreciate the comment. I don't think it's the death of the CFL. Can you pull the thing up? Just someone on the stream saying, can you pull that up again? Where do I start here? Did you read the Dean one yet?
Yeah, the gist of the Dean one is it's a little ridiculous with 8 of 9 teams making the playoffs. Makes the regular season seem a bit pointless. There could easily be 2 or 3 teams that clinch by Labor Day, and then the rest of the season means nothing. I suspect it's more about revenue than anything else when you have 9 playoff games instead of 5. I suspect many fans will get their undies in a knot because people don't like change. That's Dean in Regina.
Thanks, Dean. James, new playoff format resembling the current curling page system.
Because you can lose the first one, come back in the second.
A smidge, a little bit. I get what you're saying there. All the regulars are coming out here to play. I love it. Trevor, I'm not sure of only one team missing the playoffs. I don't mind the format, but only one team missing in a pro league is not a good look on the league. I do agree, need 10 teams. Trev, I think you're bang on. You're the clubhouse leader for text of the day so far. I agree. Jeffrey is confused. Whoa! Never admit that here, Jeffrey. You're gonna have people piling on. He's confused. I was really confused at the start, and I had like 8 other things going on work-wise. So Colson and I, thanks to Colson and Curtis, we really sat down and went through it. Once you go through it, it's not that bad. A lot of you are saying one team missing the playoffs. Jeff at Val Marie, great community, love Val Marie. I'd go the 1 to 8 format. Best plays the worst. I don't mind that. Here's the other little nugget, because a number of you have messaged in about it's revenue based. Absolutely, you're getting 4 extra playoff games. 4, not 2. 4.
Like you're almost doubling. We had 5. Now you're gonna have 9.
But kind of watered down. One team. Only one team's packing their bags. It is an interesting look. Also, they're moving things up. This is the other little nugget. May long is when the Canadian Tackle Football League is going to start.
Yep.
That means rookie camp will start around April 21st.
Approximately.
That's cold. In Saski, it's cold in Winnipeg, it's cold in Edmonton. Calgary, you got that weird thing happening that you could be cold, you could be warm. But April 21st for camp, bring your woolies.
That's still ice storm season in Ontario, too.
Is it?
Give or take.
I don't know. And main camp would be April 25th, 26th, and that's early. But last games would be Thanksgiving then.
Yep.
Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yep, and then into playoffs.
And then into the playoffs. We have a lot to unpack today. Look at the text. Keep the text messages coming. 936-6262. Let's get a t-shirt done right now. We finished 9th in the CFL, and we're the only team that missed the playoffs. Print them. It's for Saskatchewan Lotteries on Tuesday. When we come back, Greg from the Piffles podcast will be in. We'll unwrap it with him. We'll hear what he has to think. Still to come in this hour, play-by-play voice of the Prince Albert Raiders, Nick Nielson, as they sit tied 1-1 with the Medicine Hat Tigers. It's a Sports Cage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. Tuesday Sports Cage. For Saskatchewan Lotteries, fine work. Sport, culture, and recreation in Saskatchewan. Colson's with me. Talk some WHL hockey in a bit. But I told you he was coming in. And he got in faster than expected from the Piffles podcast. Greggy's here. Why wouldn't a guy release this on CFL draft day?
I love this league, but man, do they love shooting themselves in the foot. Like, why are you releasing this today? Like, why? Of all days, this is supposed to be some guy's dream being drafted to the CFL, and everyone's talking about these playoffs.
That's what Blake said on the text line. He's like, today's the day they had to do this, basically. Takes away from the day the Canadians have worked so hard to get drafted. One team? See, and then Jeffrey I hacked it up, and then you saved me, Jeffrey. The T-shirt that I would have liked was, my team finished 9th in the CFL, and all I get is this lousy T-shirt. If Curtis is listening, Curtis can mock that up quickly. We can get that done. Four more playoff games, strictly revenue based.
Dollar bills, y'all. That's exactly what it's about. This is about trying to create more revenue by more. This is still a gate-driven league. Also, with the TV deal coming up, this is actually I wouldn't say it's smart play, but it's a way to, hey, Sportsnet, want an extra playoff game?
I don't think Sportsnet touches it.
I don't think so either, or streaming or something. It gives them an extra product to sell. And that's why they made this guy the commissioner, is because he's a former TV guy. They need to find a way to bring in more revenue streams.
What's your pro to this, and what's your con? Your two big ones.
The con's the big one. The con is it's a 9-team league. Why are 8 teams making the playoffs? It completely devalues the run up to the playoffs.
Everybody gets a ribbon.
Essentially. Like, you're going to have one team basically fighting for a playoff spot, give or take. And the way the schedule's lined up, let's say it's like Ottawa and Toronto fighting for a playoff spot. There's a good chance that depending on how the schedule's made, they might not even play each other after week 9. Sometimes that's the way the schedule works. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here.
Tamara in Calgary. Wow, this looks like a make-work project, if anything. Prairie Land Rentals text line, by the way. We definitely see some different playoff matchups. We'll definitely see some different playoff matchups anyway. Do you think they might rearrange the divisions to make things even more interesting? No, I don't.
Well, this is one of the things I've been kind of thinking the league should do for a while now. And this is before they expanded the playoffs for the teams. I've always said that first in the East, first in the West, they get their bye, they get their playoff spot, shuffle the deck.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying.
After that, so 3 through 8, then shuffle the deck and see who goes from there. I'd be all for that, because yes, what's the point of the divisions anyway? But at least, yeah, you'd get some different playoff matchups. You might get an all-West Grey Cup this way.
That is one of the things. We could see an all-West Grey Cup. We could see an all-East Grey Cup, if that excites you.
And this eliminates the crossover. It officially eliminates the crossover completely.
More taxing for the players.
Well, there's going to be some players that are going to be looking forward to going home early. They won't get that chance anymore.
Like the 9th place.
Yeah, exactly.
The 9 bangers.
Yeah. Sending
pictures from a beach. Four extra playoff games, a lot of extra revenue, TV dollars, all that. it's not a great look with one team missing, but I don't know if you want to go to this. There's no other way around it. There isn't.
There was no way they're even with 10 teams, it's still not good. Then you have 2 teams missing the playoffs. Like, unfortunately, the 6 teams, 3 missing the playoffs, is a better system than what they are going now. Is this a better for the league in the long run? Probably, because like you said, it's a revenue maker. I just don't know if the games are going to be any better.
Kurt, I do not like 8 of 9 teams making it. If you want the extra games, how about top 2 teams in the league get the bye, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, your seed and play 2-game total points. Then the winners playing in the Grey Cup.
Here's the problem with that one, and that will be a PA issue, because then you have 1 and 2 are wondering how come their playoff checks are less than the 2 worst teams.
Well, you could get around that somehow.
I know you can get around that, but
slice it up
and
4
then
ways.
Also you're playing 2 games and more chance of injury, which is actually putting the lesser teams at a disadvantage.
Well, this is the way this shakes down here. This is better chance of injury. That's what I was saying. It's taxing.
Yeah. Well, look at what happened in the NLL this past week. They have single game elimination games for the first round of the playoffs, all upsets except for the one. And then the one that wasn't, the defending champion, was a slight underdog to the Georgia Storm. So the top 3 teams are out of the playoffs in the NLL.
You will get an All-West Grey Cup at some point, for sure. I think you're inevitably going to see an All-East Grey Cup at some point.
I think you're probably going to see an All-West Grey Cup next year.
There's some travel. There's some teams that are going to have to put on some miles.
Imagine being the East team that has to go to BC to play that game.
Pull that back up. Pull the stream chart. And I know everyone's not watching the stream. Healthy number, but we can just break this down. So let's say the East showdown, 8 versus 5. Let's say that 8 seed is Vancouver, British Columbia Lions. Vancouver beats the 5 seed. They are into
round 2 elimination game
against
the loser of the
possibly
East team.
Montreal.
Yeah, so BC beats Ottawa.
But they would have to. They would stay out there.
Probably. So they beat Ottawa. Now they have to go play Montreal. They're like, okay, we'll stay out here. Go play Montreal. They beat Montreal. Now they got to go play Hamilton.
You're 3 weeks out east. You're renting condos.
And for fun, let's say they're hosting the Grey Cup or something. So they're doing this all out here, and then they got to come home.
Well, look at what happened to the Riders. That was it 2016, the Chris Jones, where they played out in the East. They stayed out there.
Yeah.
For the semifinal and the final. Not a lot of teams can do that, or will do that.
And like if that happened, like you'd have to. You can't haul those and just getting beat up in a tackle football game, and you got to get on the bird and then go all the way back.
They do it mid-season.
But it's the playoffs.
I understand, but in the middle of the season, they still do that back, because the Riders were one of the few teams when they've traveled out east, if they had back-to-back games, they'd stay out there. They haven't done that the last couple of seasons.
And you're trying to make things as easy as possible in the playoffs. Yeah. You want to win.
Yeah. But is it easier to have a guy at home, rested, knowing his routine, or they're in a hotel, they're shuttle busing to who knows where to practice, in facilities they have to rent ahead of time, eating,
bagged eggs,
stuff like that
in the morning?
What's better?
Steve-O says you have to think TSN is on board too.
100%.
This will avoid. Oh, it's cut off here. Avoid baseball to a certain extent.
The CFL is really trying to avoid the NFL at the end of the day. The fewer games they have to go head to head with the National Football League, the better it is for their ratings. And it is proven in the numbers.
I think now, I feel pre-Stu, they didn't care as much as they should have about that. I thought that there were a lot of times that they're like, put them on Sundays. Let's go.
Don't get me wrong. A lot of that was due to stadium availability. That has kind of gone away a little bit. However, like early in the season, they always have Thursday night games. That has gone the wayside. That goes to the wayside the minute the NFL fires up again. They avoid Sundays. Once the NFL season starts, Thursdays and Sundays are out the windows. It's Fridays and Saturdays, doubleheaders.
Different Trevor in Regina saying, I'd like to see teams and 1 through 6 make it. Top 2 get a bye to the semifinals. 3 and 4 get home games. 5 and 6 are the visitors. Still gives credibility to the league. The playoffs still matter. That's kind of what we do now, but not divisions.
Well, no, he's talking about the same system I've been preaching for years. 1 and 2 automatically get their buys, and then you shuffle the deck 3 through 6.
Ron and Deb here. This thing is all about revenue. Teams need it, but the goofy thing is that we could see the same team twice in the playoffs. That's actually kind of cool.
With the Page playoff, yeah, you very possibly could. Yeah.
I think it, outside chance happening.
Like, don't get me wrong, Riders Bombers play, if they play 1-2, there's a good chance they could meet in the Grey Cup with the way this is set up, or at least again in the semifinal.
He's so beat up. Manzi Brennan says, can you imagine if the Riders lose Harris for the season in a showdown game? We don't know if Harris is playing in 2027. Although he's very fit.
But that being said, imagine Kevin Glenn. The same thing happened to Kevin Glenn in the Grey Cup in Toronto. That's the reason why we got to play Ryan Dinwiddie. You lose your starting quarterback in a playoff game. It's a tough struggle.
Lily says, I'm old school. Whatever happened to the old games where the West played the West teams, East played the East, and the Grey Cup was West playing against the East. I'm old school. Should go back to that.
Technically still is. There's never been a West versus Western, East versus East.
936-6262 Prairie Land Rentals text line where they got robotic lawnmowers in now. If you're we're gonna be cutting lawn here at some point in the next few months.
It's starting to turn green.
We know that. Keep them coming. We'll go to break. We'll come back. We're going to talk some WHL hockey quick with Nick Nielson, voice of the Prince Albert Raiders, and then we'll get back into this. It's the Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM. Welcome back. Saskatchewan Lotteries is your sponsor on this Tuesday edition of the Sports Cage. It is CFL draft day. CFL draft's taking a back seat right now to the CFL releasing a new schedule. Keep the text messages coming. We'll get to those in a bit. Prairie Land Rentals text line 936-6262. Quickly, Western Hockey League. People in Prince Albert, people in Medicine Hat and area. You guys got a dandy here. Joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline, where it is a perfect night for Western Pizza. NHL playoffs are on, the draft, if we're going to stream that, kick back with a pie, lasagna, any of the Greek favorites. Nick Nielson's joining us again, voice of the PA Raiders from his hotel room in Medicine Hat. I like that city, by the way. Are the golf courses open? Have you had a chance to notice?
You know what? We drove by one earlier today that looks like it's almost ready, but I didn't see anybody out, so I'm not sure.
This is a good series. I watched a bit of Game 1, very snippets of Game 2, but when you look at this series, Nick, it's like, okay, well, PA 8-3 in Game 1. The Hauser was buzzing. Maybe PA is going to make an easy run of things here, but then Medicine Hat's like, hold up, 5-0 in Game 2, and Medicine Hat outshot them 41-30. If people haven't watched this series, they're listening to you right now. What do you make of this series so far?
It's a carbon copy of what we saw during the regular season. Regular season, the stats were ridiculously similar. Both teams got to win at home. Both teams got to win on the road. So 2-2 records against each other. Goals scored were 16 apiece. After 2 games against each other here in the playoffs, 8 goals apiece, 1 win, 1 loss. It's been crazy. I think you're right. You're talking about how we get that 8-3 win in game 1, and all of a sudden people go, oh, maybe there's that bit of a pipe dream of that. Maybe we sweep this round just like we did last round, sort of thing. Then we got a reminder that this is the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference, and we saw it there on Saturday. Medicine Hat came back with a vengeance. If you've been watching the box scores all season long, there is one thing Medicine Hat knows how to do better than anybody, or doesn't know how to do better than anybody else, I should say, and that's go away. They just do not go away in games, and their power play was humming real well in game 2. We got a lot of good looks on the power play in game 1 that helped us out. So I think it's kind of just coming down to managing emotion and who can do that better right now.
What do you think though? The cat and mouse game now, 2 games in, the regular season the same. Are you thinking that we see any changes? Maybe it's lines, maybe it's systems to try and get away from either side, or are they just chips in the table? Let's play.
You know what? It's tough to say. I think we'll probably see a little bit of a lineup shift here, just dealing with some injuries for PA. I won't go into it any deeper than that here today. But, we've seen Tigers. They had a little bit of a lineup shift too here. They didn't have Jonas Wu available for the first game. Of course, he's part of that big 5 that they have there with Bryce Pickford, the Rucks, and Basha. So, having him back in the lineup, I think, was a big boon for the Tigers there in game 2. But the Raiders have shut that group down before this year. We had a game against them in PA earlier this year where I think it was a 4-1 or a 5-1 win for the Raiders in PA. So, I mean, we're going to see that. We're going to see both teams. It's kind of weird how it's went so far, because the Raiders were the team in the league that allowed the least amount of goals, known for their defense all year long. And then the Tigers, they're the team that scored the most goals in the league this year and, known for their offense all year long. Well, the Raiders' offense is what got them the win in game 1, and the Tigers' defense is what got them the win in game 2. It's weird how the kind of things flipped over.
What they don't have last change tonight for the Raiders, but who are they putting out against Wu or the Ruck twins?
It was mostly Aiden Neuring, Braden Doobie, and Brandon Gorzinski were out against the Rucks. We saw a little bit of Braden Coots' unit out against them as well. Tigers were, they rely on that unit a lot. The Ruck brothers and Basha, I think the most impressive thing about them with all the things they have is their stamina, because they play probably close to 30 minutes a night the way they've been going. And then I think game 2, they split up the Ruck brothers and Basha. They still played together, those 3, but we didn't see Pickford and Wu coming over the boards as much as we did with that unit when it came to game 2. And then Pickford looked like he was banged up a little bit after a hit that he took in the first period as well. So not sure what his status is moving forward. I don't know if that's going to keep affecting things. He was definitely used sparingly in game 2 after he was hurt in the first period there. And, he didn't see as much ice times through period 2 and 3. So, maybe that's lingering and that has an effect on things here too. It's real tough. I'm glad I'm not the one with the cards in my hand that has to play him, because it's a hard situation to figure out.
I think my hot take on this is at some point either Michael Orsolak or Jordan Schweitzer, one goalie is going to steal one here. Unsuspectingly. I thought, well, like I said, I watched that first game. I was like, well, Medicine Hat needs some better goaltending in this game. They score 8 on them, but I was like, if that's what they're going to play, it's going to be a short series. Obviously, he bounces back. They shut him out in game 2.
Well, actually, not quite there. Carter Casey started game 1, and the Tigers have been going back.
Okay, that's why.
Between their goaltenders a bit. I think Casey's now started 4 games in the playoffs so far. Switzer's been in for 8. So, Switzer's had the majority of the starts in the playoffs, and he's the one who came in for the win. The Raiders didn't test him as much through the first 2 periods, ran into some penalty trouble in game 2 there compared to what they did in game 1, where the Raiders didn't take a penalty in game 1, and I think that was the big thing, is their power play went 3 for 4, was able to rely on that and not giving up anything. And then game 2, Raiders ran into the penalty trouble, and Tigers were able to keep them away, and Switzer played really well. He made some really, really good saves in that game. Raiders came and pushed real hard in the third period and took over that game in the third period. But by that point, the Tigers already had the lead. Art Hauser Center just didn't get that moment to really get behind the boys and get loud the same way they did in game 1. And, I think that was a big difference.
It's going to be tough. A little split screen action. Watching the NHL. It's going to be a good one. What does the Medicine Hat rink hold?
I think it's a little over 5,000. Or am I thinking Red Deer now?
Yeah, no, Medicine. Yeah, against Calgary the last game they had a smidge over 5. Man, that's
and it's a loud rink too. They I got to give the fans in Medicine Hat a credit. They do bring it. I think their rink absorbs the noise a little bit better than the Art Hauser Center does. Because it to me in the booth it seems a little bit quieter, but you take a look around and they do a good job. The fans get into it in Medicine Hat pretty good.
All right, have a great call, Nick. Exciting times for you. Be listening. I don't know if I'll have to be listening to the home feed or the away feed, but nonetheless, it's going to be a good one. Thanks for doing this again today on Game Day.
No problem. And this weird CFL playoff situation, I don't totally get it either. I've been listening for about 15 minutes here.
Everybody makes the playoffs, bud. Do you want to make the playoffs, or you get to make the playoffs?
Yeah, there's something that doesn't sit right with me with an 8th place team in the league having a chance at winning the Grey Cup. I'm sorry, that doesn't sit right to me.
It's like senior hockey. One team. Yeah. Only one team gets the boot. All right, Nicky. Have a good one, bud. Thanks for doing this.
See you guys. Thanks again.
Voice of the Prince Albert Raiders, Nick Nielson. That's Game 3 tonight in Medicine Hat. Okay. Well, we got a lot of text messages. What do we got? We got to 11 here. Let's go to a quick break. We'll come back. We'll make more sense of your text messages here. 936-6262. Greg will jump back in. I'm sure he's getting text messages as well. It's the Sports Cage for Saskatchewan Lotteries on 620 CKRM. CFL Draft Day. We're going to keep you updated here on the Sports Cage right up until the Riders make their first pick, which is hopefully around 6 p.m. CFL announcing that they're changing the playoff format, changing the schedule coming up in 2027. We've been talking about that. We'll keep the conversation going here momentarily with you as well. Western Hockey League tonight, like I said, Medicine Hat hosting Prince Albert. Series tied 1-1. Everett's got a chance to wrap things up with Penticton. They're up 3-0. They're going to get some rest. 7:30 hour time there. National Hockey League playoffs tonight. Oiler fans, how you feeling out there? Back at home against Anaheim. Anaheim a chance to wrap it up against the Oilers and a banged-up McDavid. Minnesota, Dallas, 6 p.m. Tied 2-2 there. And Boston, Buffalo gets it going at 5:30 with Buffalo trying to knock out the Bruins. Major League Baseball. Toronto's at the Red Sox, 5:07. The SportsCage.com poll today. Go to SportsCage.com and vote on this one. I'm curious. Do you think that the city of Regina should approve the partial sale of Real Campus to Brandt? Vote at SportsCage.com. Tickers for Reliance Heath. Rent a water heater and softener together for about $1.20 a day. You can get $400 cash back. Some conditions apply. Visit Reliance Heath. Did you see the pictures today? I know we got a lot of people on the CFL schedule. Throw up those pictures. What do they call it? The renovation concepts for the Brandt Center. If you haven't seen this on social media today, you're not watching the stream. You're gonna have to check it out if you're listening on the radio. It's impressive looking. That does not look like your dad's Brandt Center. Or what's the building beside it called? Egg X building? Which is now the distillery?
Yeah, what's going to be the YQR distillery? Yeah, I believe that was the egg building.
Like, this looks like Mars compared to what we have right now. A different planet. If they can make it look like this, I'm all... First thing my wife noticed last night, they're going to change the parking. They're going to be having people park that away.
Diagonal.
Those plants ain't going to last. But look at this.
Hey, diagonal parking makes sense because at least you can get out faster.
And then they have the little in and out ski there onto, although the train, or is that they got to do an overpass. Just do it properly. Do it like the Americans would do it. Put an overpass. Don't put like 8 stop signs in a roundabout.
I mean, for how often you're going to use that and how many trains are going to go there, I don't think you'd make your money back.
Isn't that a main line?
Don't they just park trains there?
Not there. Far more into the city. But they've moved that out of the city.
Train expert now.
Where's this fancy hat?
I left that at home. It doesn't fit under the headphones.
Great uncle used to work for CP. Yeah, see that I could have drew that. They could have made that look a little sexier. This is nice. This entrance
That's the new entrance that they're planning at the tracks there.
with the foliage,
Yes.
very nice.
I doubt that entrance is ready by the Foo Fighters.
I just don't want the people. I don't want the locals to wreck it. Oh, there's the inside.
LED ring.
The Brandt's and an LED ring. You know what they need? I've brought this up before on the show. I'm dead serious. The upper decks of the Brandt Center, heck, even the lower deck, they need to put railings in. Like, I'm getting older.
They're steep.
If you're like, I don't know, late 60s, 70s. I don't think I would ever be able to walk up there when I 20 years from now. Like, it is scary. You got to grab onto something. It's pretty wild. They don't have railings in the Brandt Center, but they got to. You're a roofing guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
They got to do the roof.
Or do they ever?
Really? What do you know? What can you tell us? Like a full redo and they patch it?
I would recommend.
What about tarps?
Or rain catchers like they got in the cooperators? Don't get me started on that one.
I thought those are tarps.
Yeah, they're tarps. But no, that building needs a little TLC. They've been putting it up for too long.
What was it? 19 million worth of TLC?
For the Brandt Center?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like, if you don't think I think if City Council can get out of this game, run. It is Kramer with all the coffee you can drink, and I don't even care about the end. Just take all the coffee you can drink.
I'm of two minds of it. I get why it is good for the city to get out of it, but then you also lose the ability for the city to host certain things, or you are now at the mercy of a private corporation when it comes to things that usually get hosted there that are put on by the city, like the powwow and all the other stuff. Like that now all of a sudden you become a consumer to renting the building you used to own.
Makes the world go around, though.
I understand that. Like
He's a local guy.
Yeah, and I understand that too. Like I said, I see both. I can argue both sides if I had to. I don't know where I land on it right now. It's going to be.
You're the only guy that hasn't been like run.
Well, I am. What is the best value for the city of Regina at the end of the day? Not
to be in this business anymore.
And that is probably partially true, as proven by Real's track record.
I think 936-6262. I don't know him at all, but obviously very smart, business-wise, can sell iron around the world. Things are good. Thanks a billion. We saw the covers on the seats. That was a strong play. Mm-hmm. I do not think that he's going to open up that distillery. I would like that picture of the concert hall, or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to do that. And even the Brandt Center being for concerts.
Yeah.
And we're going to see Fog Dog and Men Without Shame come in. Like, we're going to get some real acts here. He's going to hire somebody as a promoter that has connections to be like, you know what? Hypothetically here, Billy Joel, tell him we're sending the jet.
We always end up at the piano, man.
We're sending the jet to pick up Billy.
Well, and that's the thing is though, like, was it a failure of imagination by the people running Real, or was it we just can't get those type of acts here? I guess once we go private, we'll find out very quickly.
What I heard, like, look at the inside of that place. Again, that's a different planet to where we are right now.
Yes.
That looks That looks too fancy for me to drink.
I was gonna say,
looks like the high limit room at a Vegas casino.
Who's going there in this city? I am sorry.
You ever walk into a high limit room and then by accident in Vegas, and then all of a sudden just a whoop, like the Homer Simpson, Grandpa Simpson. This ain't for me.
Yeah, I do not belong in here. I'm sorry, I got lost. No, he's talking the Abe Simpson immediate turnaround. As
I didn't have that on cue. All right.
As
Anyone
I call it, the
else?
Scott Flory.
Anyone else see the Hollywood Walk of Fame here at the entrance with the
I was
stars?
gonna say, where are they getting that? Is that Trent Dickin and the Flooring Superstore? Are they going through them for the flooring? Are we shopping local for everything here? That's the other thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not bringing in Wonderland to play this place.
Well, no, and that's
you're bringing in some acts.
Well, and that's it. And then, but here's once again though, let's face it, those acts are going to cost extra money. Are they?
Thanks a billion. Money's not an object here.
Oh,
maybe.
I understand, but the Simples aren't, as proven by the Pats, aren't great at pricing tickets. So, are we going to have great acts with no tickets sold? Because the Pats were not bad at the tail end of this year, and they could not move a ticket.
I'd love to interview Sean. I'd love to have him on the program. And probably to be a pre-tape, but we
Probably.
I just, now you got everything. I don't know why you would gouge people. The entertainment dollars stretch so thin out there as it is. Just, you know what? Like I said last week, is he doing this to make money? Or is he doing this to say, look at me, I did all that, and then now my staff of 3,000 some people, there's a nice place in Regina. That's what DA said. He wants a nice place for his staff in Regina to be able to go.
There's two things that people that have a lot of money spend money on, either to make more money or their legacy. And this could be one or the other, or a combination of two. And I could very well see it being a lot of its legacy. Because let's face it, if he didn't, there's no way the city, if he does that, there's no way the city of Regina would ever put money into something that ostentatious, especially that concert hall.
Never.
So, but once you do it, you've got to then back it up. You've got to keep on acts there. You've got to make it affordable. You've got to do everything to actually make it a value to this community.
Ed says is he doing it to make money? ? He's not doing it to lose it. That's for sure. No, I get that. But he's also, does he need to, it's like, what skit is that, or what movie's that? It's like, where the comedian and his wife goes and works at the boutique on the weekends.
I don't know that one.
And he's like, okay, put your $100 that you made over there with my millions.
Yeah.
But I think he is in such a strong position to charge to just barely break even on a lot of stuff.
Well, one of my favorite rich guy quotes is the Buffalo Sabres owner, Terry Pegula, when he bought the Sabres, because he already owned the Bills at the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, why are you buying the Sabres? And that's when the Sabres were in a rocky financial place already. And someone asked him, is it about making money? And things he goes, if I want to make money, I drill more wells.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily about making money. It's like I said, it's a lot of it is about legacy and being a part of your community. And that, like I said, that could be very well part of it. But they're also not going to just pile money in a corner and light it on fire like he's the Joker.
Yeah. Geez, those pictures are unreal. It's not obviously going to look exactly like that, but how long would that roof take to redo, by the way? I might put you on the question here. Some people are saying they might have to play at C6, and I'm like, we don't want to do that in 2 years when they're a wagon.
No, it wouldn't take. We do roofing projects all the time with stuff happening underneath. It's not like you just rip the roof off and walk away. So you roof what you can per day, and you make sure it's sealed at the end of the night. Chances are that'd be a roofing project in the summer anyway when they're not playing.
Yeah.
And it would and how long it would take, I have no idea what the square footage of it is off the top of my head.
The other weird thing is them taking over QCX, which we could get into that later.
I think that's going to be the 5 years down the road, the QCX will be a thing.
That's the round peg square hole thing for me. Whew. Lots to talk about on the program today. We're going to get back into the CFL changing of the schedule and playoff format with Arash Madani. He texted, he said, I can't wait to get into it. Still a lot more to come. Also, official referee Tarrington Wyonzek is going to Wyonzek. I know. He's going to join us. I need to get the take on this goal, and then everyone's going, look what they do in Switzerland if the puck's over the line. So we'll get into that in hour 2 as well. It's for Saskatchewan Lotteries. Streaming, if you want to watch along and see Colson's fancy graphics, it's at sportscage.com through our YouTube channel. We'll be back after the news. Welcome back. CFL Draft Day, which the CFL just said, hey, draft, take a seat. We're changing a bunch of stuff in 2027. If you're just tuning in 2027, one team will not make the playoffs.
One. It's a single team.
If you're the 9th place team, you got the L on your forehead. You should have to walk around the offseason with that.
They need to have a helmet sticker for the following season.
Yeah. And then it's going to be 2 versus 1. First seed, second seed in the West. First seed, second seed in the East. They're playing in round 1 of the postseason, along with 5 versus 8, 7 versus 6. They're going to reseed teams to go, okay, who's 5, who's 6, who's 7, who's 8. Then if the team that wins the 1-2 game automatically jumps to the CFL semifinal for the Grey Cup. The team that loses that, well, you need to play more football next weekend.
Have you seen basketball?
Oh, it's been a long time.
This reminds me of the convoluted playoffs that ended in a 3-man sack race.
I might have to watch that this weekend.
I watch it like once a year. I love that movie so much.
Would my kids like it?
Probably, yeah.
And then, so you're not, keep that up, Colson, because the people that are on the radio, I'm trying to, and then well, you know what? Let's just talk to Arash about it. Maybe he'll make more sense. There's people out there, people are texting, people are yelling, our pets' heads are falling off. Let's talk to Arash.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. CFL draft.
What draft?
What is up, boys?
Who cares about the draft?
Like, man, there's some good Antoine. I'll get your text right away. Kevin, Jeff. I got to read a bunch of text messages here, but Arash, like, just at its core here. Obviously, we're adding 4 playoff games.
Yes.
Okay, extra revenue, extra TV money, all that. But is it a bad look that one team in your league doesn't make the playoffs?
What happens when you don't? What happens to the 9th team?
I think you need to wear a scarlet letter the following year.
Does Laval or Montreal enter the CFL and then the Red Blacks go to U Sports? Is that what happens?
Half the team should have to go work concessions at the West Showdown and half at the East and clean the stadium.
So let's put that graphic up again. And I've been thinking about this, guys. I'm like, okay, why? What is the thought process on 86% of your membership qualifying for your postseason?
Money.
Yes. And so, but what does the money mean? To me, this suggests the hope is, I shouldn't say there is, that soon, eventually, at some point, there is going to be more than one broadcaster, and that you want to sell off, have different entities having to stream, broadcast, whatever you want to call it, November games, or I guess late October games now. Grey Cup's November 7th. Those are the valuable things. I'm sorry. The regular season, week 13, dog days of the season, Ottawa at Edmonton isn't really moving the needle, but a playoff game will. So could this mean that they're hoping to get more, not to sound like an old man, TV revenue coming in because there's more playoff games. That's the only thing. Because everything else makes no sense.
I look at it too, and I'm like, it's going to be taxing on the players.
Big time. So, Barney, like, I look at this, and I'm saying, I've always believed, and I know fans would hate this, and people will push back on it. I think it's archaic for teams not to load manage guys. Now you look at this, and you say to yourself, well, wait a minute here. The ask of our teams is this, all right, is there a time in September, even in early October, we sit guys for a game or two just to make sure they're going to be healthy down the stretch when it really matters? I know it's not in the football culture to do that, but man, it would make a ton of sense. And if you think back, I know people in Sask don't want to, but in 2019, when the Bombers won the Grey Cup, they had a playoff run for the ages from Andrew Harris. Remember, that was the season Harris had to sit 2 games because of the drug suspension. 2 games where he wasn't getting the bejesus beat out of him, 2 games where he was able to rest, 2 games where he was able to make sure that he was going to be healthy for the playoffs. I look at this format now and say to myself, post-Labor Day, do some of these regular season games really matter? I don't know if they do. It may make more sense to end up, you know?
And that'd be such a CFL thing to do, announce full team fantasy football just to have now load management ruin the back end of it.
Well, and with so many of these things, whenever you make a rule change, whenever you make a format change, playoff change, blah, 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 you really have to dig deep into the unintended consequences of what could this actually lead to? You got to get 50 football people in a room and say, okay, how are you guys going to cheat this? Tell us.
Yeah.
And let's really then start evaluating, does the end justify the means?
Loophole guy. That's the role I like to play. Find us the loopholes in this. All right.
Right. 100%. And look, the tush push is a great example of that, right?
Well, what's better, ending up third in the West or ending up second in the West? Because if you're ending up 2, you're playing the first overall team and you're beating the crap out of each other. End up third, you're technically 5th or whatever, and you're going to end up playing a powder puff team.
That's a tough question.
It's a gauntlet. It's a gauntlet if you don't win that 1-2 game.
Well, that's where the taxing part comes into it.
And then you add the extra travel if you have to now cross over to the West or cross over the East because they're reshuffling the deck.
Well, Colson and I in hour 1, and I forget, like I'm gonna have a nosebleed, but we figured out if it was, if the number 8 seed is BC, and you're going to play 5 in
Ottawa or
and then you're going to probably stay out there.
Well, you'd think,
because you're going to play again, and then what's our cancellation policy in our rooms? Because we might have to stay again.
Yep.
Oh man, you start renting houses at that point.
You think so?
I don't know. And then what do you think about May long weekend kickoff, which means
I like that.
Are you going to come cover rookie camp in Saskatoon in February, which is also known as April here?
Mid-April. I like Victoria Day kickoff. I like November 7th Grey Cup a lot.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm of the belief, guys, that like, forget the CFL for a minute, okay? To me, if you're going to play for a championship, you want to have the best teams playing in ideal conditions.
Here.
Denver, New England second half of the AFC Championship game in a snow-covered field, on a snow-covered field that was basically an ice rink too. It was just a debacle. We do not want that. I get their mystique to it. I get cold weather football is a part of it, but the actual field conditions should be somewhat sane for guys to be able to perform at a high level on. And November 7th gives you a better option of that. And also, if we're being frank about business, the NFL outdraws the CFL in just about every metric in this country. So, fewer weekends spent going head-to-head with the National Football League is a smart thing to do on top of it all. So I like that part of it. I like more summer football, if you will. To me, May Long Weekend is the kickoff to the summer, depending on where you are in the country, and who knows these days. So I like a lot of that. I'm just not sure about the playoff thing.
Yeah. The Denver fans are remembering. Patriot fans are.
I was going to say, I didn't hate that game.
Vrabel was bundled up. Russilli was bundled up. It all worked out. Okay. U of R. You've been following this. Michaela Kleisinger coaching the women's basketball team.
I mean, in the most twist, turn, roundabout, maze, upside down, inside out way, they got to the right decision. The question now becomes, how scrutinized will the path be from when this process started to where we now stand today? Well, yesterday, April 27th, when the announcement was made. Because, Barney, I texted you this when I saw the announcement from the U of R, and what we reported on the show last week, what I had been told last week, is that the athletic director had very little involvement over the last week on this. The president of the university stepped in last week. The president of the university was the one who was quoted in the statement that was issued by the university. So what happens now in the aftermath of all of this review? And there were some real points in the statement from Dr. Jeff Keshen. When he said that the deep connection to the institution and the broader community were not given the necessary weight and merit. Whoa.
Yeah, that's what jumped out at me yesterday when I got the email. And I was like, if it was Jeff's call and Sharky talked about it, bravo to him. If somebody had to, put him on the line and say, we need to backtrack here, we need to pivot. And you know what? And everyone now is like, what kind of grounds and court case does Buckaroo from Simon Fraser have? And I'm like, I don't know. But you know what? They made it right. Maybe the other thing, too, maybe Buddy doesn't want to come coach here anymore after he saw everything that went down. Maybe he's got other options, and he's like, to tell you the truth, you guys need to hire that lady. I'm going to get lambasted, and I'm going to have elementary kids come into play play for the Cougars for one day because no one's going to want to play here. So maybe he was meh.
Think about how difficult a situation it would have been if, let's insert a name here, Jordan Webb was the one who was going to come in and have to take over this program under this cloud and under this scrutiny. It's a great point.
What was your take on all that?
Oh, they read it wrong. Like, the fact that it sounded like she wasn't even considered seemed ridiculous to me. Like, if she was in the hunt and for some reason they couldn't, but based on success, based on how the team did, the connection, to me it seemed like an easy fit, and they just went square peg round hole for some reason.
But my bigger question is more than that. Okay, they read it wrong here, but what about moving forward? What about the next coaching search that they're going to do? What will change in their process? Who will lead the process? What are the benchmarks that are going to be important in this process? What must they include? Who is going to run it? Who will not be involved in it? Will there be any ramifications for the way this process unfolded and ultimately blew up? Like, to me, the questions are only getting started now after, as you said, they righted that wrong.
I know you're not, you know the situation, you've talked to a lot of people. We're not entrenched in it by any means. Do you think that we'll see a new athletic director at the University of Regina?
I don't know. And I honestly don't know. And this is kind of where I was going with this. I don't know if, April 28th, well, May 1st, when the dust on this clears, what happens then? Will there be also a review on how all coaching hires are done, on all the processes? I just don't know. I don't know if this is something the president thought needed to be handled this way for this specific role, or will all coaching hires and all coaching processes now change? I don't know.
I hope McCulloch just popped a bottle of her favorite wine or whatever she drinks last night and just celebrated, went to town. I'm happy for her.
Now, here's the thing. If the director of athletics remains, at some point, soon, the head coach and the director of athletics need to sit down and talk, because they need to work together every single day in pursuit of a common goal. There are some repairs here that need to be done after quite a wreck. And you can't write the whole thing off. So, ...
Oh, yeah. Who wants that counseling bill? Who's the mediator there?
There's a bridge that has to be built, that's for sure.
After it was torched.
Yeah.
Love can build a bridge, the judge said. CFL draft goes tonight.
Yes.
Akeem Messidor. Is he going to be taken after the NFL draft, going first round? What awesome to see. Canadian. Did someone take a flyer on him late? What do you think there?
No, I don't. It's just a waste of a pick. Messidor's 25. He will be paid. He'll be guaranteed in the neighborhood of $30 million US for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
If the Chargers pick up his fifth-year option, he'll be guaranteed in the neighborhood of 45. So the chances of him wanting to come up here and play for 125, 150 Canadian early are probably going to be slim.
We are going to have a distillery with a concert hall, though.
Are you telling me I need to warm up my vocal cords, Barney? Or
Oh yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I think someone in the 8th round is probably going to take a flyer on it. Like, a lot of those picks don't pan out anyway. If you want the guy's rights, you're going to take the guy's rights. There's always a couple of those every year.
Yeah, I think if somebody takes his rights, it's going to be Toronto. That's very much a Jim Barker kind of move.
Oh, 100%.
You never know when we're going to need him if he comes back up. Jim will have a story about an NFLer who returned back in 1997. Yeah.
What other kind of Canadians or what other names are you curious about today?
There is one that's really interesting that hasn't gotten a lot of pub, and he wasn't on any NFL radar because of an injury. And his name is Jet Elad. And Jet started his career at UNLV, and then he went to Rutgers, and hasn't been able to do a lot of the draft process because, kind of air quote, everybody knows about a sports hernia issue that needed to get repaired, and that's kind of been the red flag on him because of injury. But we're talking about a top prospect, a safety now, again, coming out of Rutgers. I'm told, guys, last month he had hip issues, both hips, that needed to be taken care of. So here you have somebody who has a ton of talent, a ton of ability, could really step in immediately on special teams, if not play, except you have hip issues and a sports hernia injury. What does that mean for your stock? To me, look, if this guy drops to like the 4th or 5th round, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth just let's see what you got. That's one thing. The other is I'm expecting 4, if not 5 of the picks in the first round to be offensive linemen. And then I have kind of locks. Colson, I don't know if you have the board ready. From a non-offensive lineman standpoint, there's 2 guys. A defensive end from Wake Forest who hails from Edmonton, Alberta, Newer Gatcoth, and then Dariel Jambom, also out of Rutgers, a linebacker who can, he's such a versatile player that if need be, he could play probably all 3 linebacker positions in the CFL. To me, these are first-round locks tonight in this draft, but the majority of your first-round picks are going to be offensive linemen tonight.
Where does this leave all the global players for the global draft?
Well, there's
How many kickers can you talk about?
There's 94 eligible globals in the draft. 94. How much time and resources were poured into evaluating all of those globals when you only have a couple of rounds? But yeah, 94 players. We'll see how it all pans out on that.
Yeah.
Over under non-kickers in the global draft.
Oh God, I'm purely guessing at this point. I didn't even bother asking if there's, any linebackers who can play special teams for you. If there are any long snappers, punters.
Like we always say on Piffles, you can tell who's done their homework by if they just don't draft a kicker because they actually look at someone other than a kicker. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. 9th team. The joke was, what was the T-shirt we were getting made?
My team ended 9th, and this is all I got was this shirt.
Yeah, 15 finished 9th
For Jeffrey.
and then Curtis made this, I guess. If you're watching the stream, it's a good joke, Curtis. Curtis doing some good work over there.
By the way, is this the all fitness team or is this the all fitness team? Holy smokes!
No doubt, not one boiler in that picture. All right, buddy. We'll regroup on Thursday and go from there.
CFL draft.
Do you want to hear a funny kind of missed a bet last night?
Oh,
I went Penguins and Flyers over 5.5. Pretty decent. I'm like, but then I parlayed it with somebody to get a point. Hit it. All I needed was them to score in that empty net. Crosby missed the empty net. Then he gets a chance and he dives at it. I don't know if you saw this.
No.
And the puck from the blue line is going towards the empty net and it hit the post. And I'm sitting there just going, of course, this is how it's going to happen.
They missed 4 empty nets. I'm a Penguins fan. I watched that game, and I was literally texting the other Piffles guys going, how can we not score?
5.5. The dreaded 5.5. Anyway, I'll rebound tonight. Talk to you Thursday.
See you, boys.
See ya.
Later.
Coast to Coast with Arash Madani is brought to you by Brian Gawley, Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian. We'll go to break here, come back clutch. We're going to read some of your text messages. There's so many on it. Prairie Line Rentals text line 936-6262. Piffles, Greg from Piffles is with me. Colson's with me. It's a SportsCage for Saskatchewan Lotteries. All right, my first clutch performer, not one person, singular. It's the motorcade situation in Vancouver. Did you hear about this?
I caught the tail end of it, but yeah.
So FIFA wanted a motorcade, Colson, correct me if I'm wrong, for the president of FIFA, basically the same as if the president or the highest dignitaries in the world.
I thought they wanted one bigger than the prime minister, is the way I read it. But
Yeah, bigger than the prime minister. I've got it in front of me here. They wanted a level 4 motorcade.
Oh, the old level 4.
Yeah. which means that they would be one level below the Pope and one level higher than the Canadian Prime Minister. Which,
So
okay,
the Vancouver said, take a seat.
Wow. Like, come on. Like, I understand FIFA's point. Like, they can give out a World Peace Award, so obviously he deserves it if he can give out a Peace Award.
Oh, and it's not going to happen. Jeez. Okay, my other one is non-clutch performer. Last night, if you're watching the stream, the video, if not, I'll explain. You didn't see this. Whistle blows. Evgeny Malkin fires a backhand into the Flyers bench. That is an absolute no-no. Minor hockey, junior hockey, senior hockey, it's funny.
street hockey.
Street hockey, sure. Floor. Look at this. Yeah, he shot it, and I guess it almost hit Tocchet.
Yeah. It went by Tocchet.
Tocchet would still slap Evgeny around.
As a Penguins fan, it's Bush, but
You got it. For sure it is. Like, there's ways to get under your opponent's skin, and some of them are borderline. This makes no sense. And I didn't think Evgeny was very good again last night for the Pens.
Evgeny Malkin, and like I said this, I say this as a Penguins fan, disappears for portions of the playoffs. Actually, it's funny. I was going through my Facebook memories. I check them every once in a while, and a memory today is me complaining about Evgeny Malkin missing in the playoffs. It happens a lot.
But what's his name is playing good in goals? Philos?
He's been playing very well, and actually, that's my clutch performer is the Penguins coming back. Because when they went down 3-0, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's it.
Curtains.
They're showing some fight, so hopefully they can at least get to Game 7.
And where did Crosby take that slap shot? Was it in the inner leg? Did you see
Inner
that?
leg, yeah.
And he just comes back, like misses one shift maybe, he's back.
Like, don't get me wrong, I understand there's a lot of people that didn't like Crosby when he was younger, but if you're not a Sidney Crosby fan, are you a hockey fan? Like, that guy,
Yeah.
all he does is play and plays the game at a high level and doesn't whine and complain.
Clutch performer for Glen Suitor, located in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. If you're thinking solar, saving some money, they can come out, give you a quote, whether it's on the farm, the cabin, the house. Glen Suitor in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Sprinkle of the day. As we transition to that, Flowing Springs Driving Range is opening tomorrow, I'm told. You just got a confirmation that courses in Medicine Hat are opening?
Yeah, I contacted the people I know out there, yeah.
I think a lot of courses in and around. I know Deer Valley, the Royal, and the City courses, I think, are opening Friday, Saturday here. I don't know, Brian, if you're listening out there, when's Flowing Springs opening? The range is opening tomorrow. No mats out at Flowing Springs. So if you want to work out kinks, that is the place to go. Okay, sprinkle of the day. Oh, I gotta bear down. I tried a 3-game combo the other night. Sports Select, not good. Boston Buffalo. Boston 275 on the pro line. Buffalo's 190. If it goes into overtime, 360. 5.5 over under. When you see that quickly, is anything? I think over. I think I hit the over there.
I think the over. Buffalo's playing pretty good, and I love seeing Boston lose.
Okay. Minnesota, Dallas. Oh, this could be good looking STV tonight to watch this one. 235 Minnesota on the road. Dallas 250. Dallas, I didn't give them enough respect, and I know Eric Francis is in Ireland, probably absolute bucked. But Dallas's power play. They move. You can't take any penalties against them. Minnesota, I have a lot of them in my one Keniston. I don't have a lot of Dallas, so I'm betting with my heart with Minnesota again. Over unders 5.5. I don't know. I'm gonna pause on that one, and then I'm hitting this game tonight. Over under 6.5 because the goaltending is so stellar. Anaheim, Edmonton. How bad do you want to see Anaheim? Somebody texted in here saying, "Oh yeah, Colt, my Ducks will end the Oilers season tonight." I took Anaheim in one of my super drafts. People thought I was Sharky said I was crazy. And like just like Utah, I didn't give him enough respect, but I watched Utah play this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're fast.
Yep.
They're good. Fast, slippery. But then Anaheim I watched late in the year, and I was like, yeah, they're okay. And Gudas is out.
I don't know. I think in this game, if I got to take anything, I want to say I'm behind. I'm fully behind Edmonton and Tristan Jarry, like that puck was.
You can play at sportselect.com. Make your picks online now. Generate a QR code. Scan it at your Lotto Spot retailer. There you go. When you're ready to bet on the original. Every bet is 100% legal. A chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select. I can't wait for that Edmonton Anaheim game tonight. You know who I got on tomorrow? Jordan Schmaltz. His brother Nick plays with Utah. Schmaltzy. What a follow on Twitter. He's such a riot. He's going to come in and do the NHL Insider thing tomorrow, so a lot to talk to him about. Yeah, that was Sprinkle of the Day. Okay, we'll go to break. We are going to be joined in a moment by a referee, I think retired referee now, Tarrington Wyonzek. We're going to get to the bottom of what he thinks about that goal the other night in Anaheim. It is the Sports Cage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. All right, welcome back. Heavy metal means Greg's back in the fold here with me and Colson for Saskatchewan Lotteries. The other night in Anaheim, in overtime, the Oiler fans that I know, logical. Puck was in, for sure. Didn't like how it went down. I don't know how it went down either. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, it'd be nice to talk to someone that's reffed a lot of hockey games and figure this out. And then I'm like, I wonder what Tarrington Wyonzek is doing on a Tuesday. He's able to jump on with us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Perfect night for a little zaw. There you see him working hard on Umbrella Marketing. You're not retired. For some reason, I thought you told me that you're retiring.
No, I'm still working the Western League playoffs right now, so haven't fully made up my decision here yet on what the future holds. So,
looking good. Anyway, looking good. Okay, were you watching the game live? Did you see it, or did you watch it after?
I have a 19-month-old at home, so unfortunately I fell asleep on the couch at about 9:30 and was about half an hour short, but I woke up in the morning to about 15 text messages with different video clips from people all over the place. So,
okay, so the thing, first off, Tarrington, is so the puck goes in, he does it, he's not pointing there, the linesman doesn't look to be in position, so now they're chatting. Can you just get maybe a look behind the curtain? Like, what are the refs talking initially there when they're gathering behind the net, even before they go over to the penalty box? And I know you're speculating too.
Yeah, so I mean, I've ran through these situations in different video review packages all the time. Part of training videos. This is actually a clip that's probably going to get used a lot moving forward. So on the ice, the officials have to make a call. Before they go to video review, they have to either have good goal or no goal on the ice before they go to review. So in this situation, when the referee wheels behind the net, he probably saw that frame with the puck sitting there, and he didn't point, right? It's just natural habit that you're not going to point. You're going to kind of freeze, right? And be like, oh, you know, is this 100% in or not? So anyway, they would have gotten together. They would have discussed what everyone saw. The linesman probably didn't have a great look, obviously, like you were saying, but that back referee probably was able to wheel around and say, guys, I'm 99% sure this puck's in the net. It feels like a good goal. Let's go to review. So at that point, they make their call on the ice. They say good goal. Now they go to review to confirm whether that's a good goal or not. So I think where you're seeing a lot of Oiler fans upset is because clearly you can't see any white between the puck and the goal line. But I mean, anyone, you know, with kind of some common sense can look at that clip and say, yeah, the puck's in the net, you know.
Did they use that? Did they use common sense?
Honestly, like, it happens in situations where you got to go with your best judgment that you have. Like, you know, we're all human out there. There's going to be stuff we don't see, right? We hear it all the time from coaches saying, well, there's 4 of you out here. How'd you miss that? And my response is there could be 10 of us out here and we'd still miss it, right? That's just That's just how it works, unfortunately, right? It's no different than, a backdoor pass that a kid, misses a wide open net on. I can go back to the coach and say, why'd your kid not put that puck in the net? It's wide open,
Good point.
How often in your head as an official do you worry about that, I guess, replay either making you look dumb or whatever? Or is it just, that's there to save me in case I miss something, I'll just make this call and the chips land where they may?
Yeah, honestly, it's just a tool in the toolbox that you get to use and you have an advantage with. With all the different camera angles nowadays and all of the, the importance of the game, I mean, you may as well use that tool. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't want to rely on video to have to bail us out of a situation, but there's situations just like this Oilers game where sometimes you don't have a choice. You don't see it. It's tough to get an angle on a play that you need that video review for, and it's just a great tool, to overall serve the game the best that we can when we're on the ice.
Obviously, the way technology is going, look at the ABS system in baseball. Human error is being phased out for technology. As an official, do you worry that it's going to go too far sometime?
Not so much with hockey. I mean, baseball is a little bit different where there's that strike zone and you're kind of right or you're wrong. Where with hockey, there's so many situations, whether you're reffing or linesing, where you need to have judgment and feel for the game and different aspects, to be able to control a situation depending on, the emotions in the game, the score of the game. There's so many things that come into play with that. But with that, I mean, all the video and whatnot, it's tough. You get criticized a lot because, there's 10 different angles on every single play in every rink. So,
So you've reffed a lot over in Europe, and you've been in the World Championships, just at the Olympics. Now this Switzerland piece of picture that's going around now, and I messaged you this earlier. I'm like, is this legit? If anyone's watching the stream, Colson's going to put it up, but they have 2 lines, and I think this is Switzerland. Is this real? Because if the puck is touching any of the second line, that means it's in. Have you seen this before? Is this legit?
I have seen this before. I've never seen it get used in a game that I've been in, but I've definitely heard about it. And I mean, for situations like the Oiler game, this would be a perfect example of how you can 100% justify that the puck's in the net if you can't see it on the original goal line. I think it's genius, honestly, and I mean, it'll take a lot of question marks out of that situation from the other night.
All this technology and a simple line of paint could have solved all of this.
Go with a line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
An extra line, okay. I think, yeah. Okay, so just in closing, now the ref went behind the net. He probably looks, maybe there's a moment of, oh, I think that's in. He doesn't point, goes over, makes the call. We have a good goal on the ice. Then that triggers the ability to go to video review, where 99.9% of the time they're going to make it right.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. The biggest thing is they have to have that call on the ice before they go to review, just in case, something happens that you don't have that video or that access, or something crazy happens, you need to have a call on the ice. So that's how they would have got to that.
Okay, my last question. What's the greasiest position you've ever been in? Have you been in one like this, whether it's junior or pro or overseas?
Oh, I don't even know. That's a tough question off the top of my head. Honestly, you pray that stuff like that doesn't happen when you're in games, because we always say we want to get in and get out going unnoticed. That makes the best official right there, is when no one's talking about you after the game. I don't even know. Probably I'm sure if I had some time to think, I could come up with something from an early international tournament or something, some weird situation that happened that I was a part of, and I was just like, wow, I hope that never happens again.
Tarrington, thanks so much. That was great insight. Really put a different perspective on it for me as well, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners. Thanks for doing this today.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for having me.
Right on. There he is. Referee, lines person. He's done it all. Tarrington Wyonzek from Regina. Boy, that's a lot of pressure.
I was a ref when I was a teenager, and I despised it. The hot chocolate and $20 for Mooseman minor hockey wasn't worth it.
It was just the people from Indian Head, and what was the big rival coming in? That would just yell at
Whitewood
you?
was the worst one because I recognize a lot of those parents playing against the older brothers and sisters.
Tarrington is joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Grab a pie, any of the Greek favorites tonight for watching some hockey. We'll go to break. It's a Sports Cage streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. CFL draft's going to fire here. Momentarily, we're going to keep you updated. We're thinking the Riders pick around 6 p.m. We'll be here to tell you who they grab in round one. CFL making some news today. 2027 playoffs are going to look different. Everyone's making it but one team. We're going to have 4 extra games starting May long. Last week of the regular season will be Thanksgiving. Story will be up at sportscage.com. Western Hockey League Conference Finals continue tonight. PA Medicine Hat tied 1-1, 7 p.m. in the Hat. Everett tries to sweep Penticton. They lead 3-0. National Hockey League tonight. Oilers, Ducks. Oilers trying to stay alive at home. 8 p.m. puck drop. Minnesota, Dallas tied 2-2, 6 p.m. there. Then the early one, Boston's in Buffalo to take on the Sabres at 5:30. Blue Jays, Red Sox play hardball 5:07. SportsCage.com poll. Do you think that the city of Regina should approve the partial sale of Real to Brandt? You can be like Greg and go and vote at sportscage.com. It's for the local shop, Extreme Hockey and Sport. More than hockey, they got baseball, they got lacrosse, 3 locations, McIntyre Street in Regina, the Cooperator Center, and now Temple Garden Center in Moose Jaw under new management, Extreme Hockey and Sport. Is that good?
Sure.
CFL draft, 5 o'clock. Do you have any? Do you and the boys at Piffles? Do you guys mock it up?
We didn't do mock drafts this year, but we are going live tonight. So 8 o'clock, we'll be trying to break it down as best we can.
What do the Riders need?
Canadian receiver now for reasons. But
you would take a Canadian receiver over a real strong O-lineman or D?
No, not
DN?
the first round. First round, if I'm the Riders, I'm going defensive line first one. With Ollie Saad, they need someone to back them up because that's obviously the future. You want a good Canadian defensive rotation.
We had somebody on the text line earlier about Diego Pavia. He signed a 3-year deal with Baltimore, but you said, and I think Brandon texted in too. I didn't know he's on the neg list for.
Yeah, he's been on the Winnipeg neg list all season, as far as I can tell, and I hope he can speak Winnipeg because I think that's where he's going to end up. That being said,
backing up Taylor Elgersma.
That being said, with his personality and O'Shea and their fit in or F out mentality in that locker room, I think it'd be a very fun reality series. He's got
swagger, a little bit cocky, you can call him, and all that. Fit in Calgary.
There's
they always think they're a little bit better than the rest.
There's swagger and being a sideshow, and he is riding that one.
Playing in Nashville too. Antoine in Regina earlier. I want to get this text. Hey Barney, just tuning in. I don't hate the changes, but if they're going to do this play-in thing with only one team missing out of the playoffs, just scrap the divisions and finally add the Atlantic team. Well, I think they would love to add a team. Hour one, I think Quebec City is the easiest way.
Hot take, the next expansion team is going to be in Quebec. It won't be Halifax.
Great rivalry. They have a stadium. It can retrofit it, get another 8,000 in there. You're not packing people in like it's the 80s anymore.
The worst part is the most obvious owner for Quebec City owns Montreal.
Say that again?
The most obvious owner for Quebec City owns Montreal. PKP, like video, whatever they're called. I can't think of the name of this company he owns. Is based out of Quebec City, not Montreal.
Kevin says, sorry, Kev. I want to get to this. I am a fan. Sorry, I text things very, very slow. I am a fan of moving the season up as I froze the grapes off at the West Final last year, but would have preferred a one division and top 6 make the playoffs, 1-2 get buys.
Which, like I said, that is what I've been pumping for years on Piffles. That is the way I would have done the playoffs. But technically, they're scrapping the divisions anyway.
You get reseeded.
Yeah.
Jeff Sandy Lake Colney, more on my previous comment about the 1 versus 8 formula. It rewards the top seed team only having to play the worst team. They play for the top for a reason during the season. The other thing too is like you talked about the PA, and I'm like, there's a lot more football. Like the chances of you going through the 5 versus 8 and then winning again and then winning again at the end of the season, where you might have had to scrape and claw for seeding or to not be the loser 9th team.
But here's the thing: it's not even a true reseeding, because once again, it's first in the East versus second in the East, and first in the West versus second in the West. So you could have, and there's been situations where you have all the West teams, or most of the West teams, with better records than the first or second team in the East. So once again, like, you could have a situation where Edmonton and Calgary are better than the rest of the teams in the East.
Okay, we got to go to break. We come back. Glen Suitor is going to be with us. We're going to keep you updated on the draft. It's a SportsCage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. Welcome back for hour 3 of the SportsCage. Greg from the Piffles podcast is with me today. Colson's with me. It's CFL draft day. Ottawa's been on the clock. They're on the clock. We're going to keep you updated. But the CFL basically gave themselves the Heisman and said, we got bigger news today for some. Going to change the playoffs in 2027.
I don't know why you do this today.
Wait, what about all those months that we had nothing to talk about?
Literally, like, we were scraping the barrel on Piffles to talk every week.
Days, months. And then it's like, let's give everybody everything today.
This league, man, I love it, but some days.
You know what I love? Backyard putting greens. And we're giving one of those away on Friday. Thanks to the Classic Landscape Company. All the entries are in. Everything's being calculated, and then they're going to draw the lucky winner Friday right here on the show. Again, thanks to the Classic Landscape Company. If you missed it, Flowing Springs driving range, no mats, real grass, opens up tomorrow. Get out there, swing the wrenches. Show's been awesome so far. Some great insight, talking different things. Arash Madani on the CFL, also on McCulloch Kleisinger getting hired with the University of Women's Regina basketball team. Nick Nielson in front of Game 3 tonight between Medicine Hat and Prince Albert in the WHL. Tarrington Wyonzek, official referee, came in hour 2, gave us some great insight back behind the curtain look on how the refs might have made that call the other night in Anaheim. So you can go back and listen to it in podcast form, however you listen to podcasts, or watch it on YouTube's Pump Jacks Cathedral Trivia right now. Then we're going to get into Glen Suitor. Here it is, Pump Jacks Cathedral.
It's time for SportsCage Trivia for Pump Jacks. Great food, cold local draft, and a place that feels like home.
Okay, I'm going to give you the question right now, 936-6262, and then sometime during Glen likes to play trivia as well, or when Glen's done, we'll take it. In what year was the CFL draft reduced from 9 rounds to 8 rounds, and then further reduced to 7 rounds? What year? I want to know the year, though, it was reduced from 9 rounds to 8 rounds. Don't say.
Well, it's back to 8 now. They have expanded it again. So.
Yeah, and what year was the draft reduced from 9 to 8 initially? 936-6262. Chance to win $50 to Pump Jacks Cathedral. Free house located Albert and 13th. Taps. Great chicken fingers. Kerwin crispy ribs. Okay, let's talk to Glen.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Rough Rider legend Glen Suitor on the Sports Cage. Brought to you by Freeze Tome and Lumber. Locally owned, family grown, rooted in our community for 70 years in Regina and Fort Capel.
So we have TSN on here, Glenn. It was real fun. You might want to throw this out at the people, since you know people there. And they showed the Riders' war room. I was just getting my phone out to take a picture, and then they had players on the board, and I'm like, ooh, that might not be the camera angle they want to give.
Yeah, I didn't see that shot, but I know our camera guys were just trying to get a wide shot, I'm sure, of the room. And the Riders have to be aware because the other teams are probably watching it too and can see what they have in mind for the first few rounds anyway.
CFL draft. First off, you and I talked about this yesterday. People are going to say, some people will say, why isn't the whole thing televised? As a guy that works for TSN, what they do, I think it's a good job doing the first 2 rounds. What's the rebuttal? What do you say to people on that?
Well, yeah, first of all, we do cover the first 2 rounds, as you just mentioned. So that, and I'm not sure how many years that's been going on now, but quite a few. I mean, through Randy Ambrose's tenure as commissioner, I think every one of those years, we were televising the first 2 rounds. I think we have good expertise in that with Dwayne and what they do with Marshall and Dwayne and their expertise in the youth sports and the recruits coming in. But it's not, for a TV show, TV is about ratings. TV is about top value entertainment. Because our draft is so crucially important and yet not a real, ratings grabber when it comes to television. It just hasn't been the idea of a TV show that would inspire you to say, hey, this is much watched TV. You and I have talked about this, Barney, but I don't know why people watch and are so enthralled by the NFL draft or even an NHL draft. I mean, the first couple of rounds of an NHL draft, probably a little different because those players can be, difference makers. But I don't know. Like when you think about Tom Brady going in the 6th round and some great quarterbacks that never make the team in the 1st round and Heisman Trophy winners in the 1st round in the NFL, like I don't know why people are so fixated on watching guys walk up on stage and hand a jersey. It's not compelling TV to me down there either. And it's certainly not compelling. No offense to O linemen, because they always bug me when I say this, but it's really not compelling when your first 5 picks of the draft are O linemen, and you're trying to make a TV show around the left guard out of University of Saskatchewan, crucial to winning.
I get what you're saying,
but the TV show and the TV aspect of it, it's not like a top quarterback who threw for 5,000 yards in youth sports. It's becoming more like that, but as far as the players go, but it's a tougher TV show to sell, and the cost of those things. I mean, come on, the cost of putting together a TV show, even out of the Toronto studios with the panel and those guys, I mean, we're talking major expense, hundreds of thousands. So,
you had to fly Arash all the way from the West Coast to Toronto, right there. That shot the Farhan. Yeah, right there, you shot the budget. Farhan's travel expenses.
Yeah, you're looking at what, $5 to $10 grand right there with fuel prices right now and the flights out of Vancouver.
He doesn't sit in coach. Come on. You kidding? Go, Greg.
Speaking of offensive linemen, Ottawa just picked Giordano Vaccaro, Manitoba boy, played at Purdue. They're showing him kissing his parents by the looks of it. I think that's part of why this is good. You have the feel-good stories, and especially considering what the CFL did today. They need the feel-good stories today because the rest of the chatter is not great for them right now.
Well, you know what I would do, and this is something I've sort of quietly suggested, and just to be an idea guy, try to see if you can be part of the solution. Is there a concept where you you do a preview show, a 2-hour preview show, going back to last year and how the season finished, and then highlighting every team's off season with, at the end of each team's run, you do the first pick overall in the draft, and then continue the draft online. But your preview show is mixed with the draft show. You know, you guys are mentioning the playoff format announcement today, and I agree with you. Like, when I looked at it initially, I thought, why would they say that today when the draft's happening? And I'm wondering, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second and just wonder if they were thinking the same thing as far as grabbing the audience's attention. If the draft hasn't done that historically, then maybe we added a little spice by saying, hey, we're changing the format, get people talking about it, and then they shift into talking about the draft and some of the Canadian talent that's coming into the league. I mean, I don't know that. I haven't talked to Stuart about that or the guys that put this together as far as the timing. But I get you initially going, why trump yourself with news that is going to trump the Canadian draft? And those stories, you know, this is where we need the NFL Films type of division. If we could have someone finance that, Barney, I don't know how much you're winning in gambling these days, but if you could throw a little cash towards it, you know, like if we could look at something where, you know, you had an NFL Films and you followed these draft picks, because it's an important day for them. I remember the day, and you know, I know everyone wants to make the big money doing radio in New York City and making $10 million a year doing it. But we're good where we are. We're Canadian. We love it. And playing pro football is a dream. Yes, you'd love to make big money, but getting drafted in the CFL is huge for these kids. Big time.
Remind me to ask you a question at the end of the thing. But just okay. a random question now that you made me think about it. Okay, but he's got like this. They got like looks like a school gymnasium rented, and they got a nice turnout for Giordano.
Giordano, yeah.
It very well put together on that front. Okay, let's get into this. 4 extra playoff games. That is going to be taxing on some bodies. Yes, I get it means more money. I get it. It means more gate money. It means more TV money.
More work for Glenn.
Maybe that more work. Suits gets to pick up more per diems. I love everything about that. But one team missing the playoffs, and that's been kind of the reoccurring theme in our text line, Glenn. It's a bit of a tough look.
Yeah, there's going to be 2 areas of criticism here in this change. I off the top, I'll just say I like it. I really do. But there's going to be, and I'll get to that in a minute, but there's going to be 2 sort of areas of criticism. One is that exactly, that only one team is not going to make the playoffs. So how does that change the regular season? Like how, you know, you can be a team that's not great and still make it, and that will be an area that the league, you know, you can poke holes in the league. But having said that, there has also been years and years of criticism of when you finish first, you only have to win 1 game to get to the championship, and now that's erased. So, you know, when I look at it, and again, that's sort of, you're going to always have the half full and the half empty answers or discussions. If I look at the half full discussion, more playoff football is awesome. Okay, like when you're in sudden death playoff, more playoff anything is awesome. Playoff hockey, it's sometimes hard for me, and this is just personal. It's sometimes hard for me to watch regular season hockey some days. Like, you know, it's all in the corners, and I'm like, this is getting kind of boring. But you watch the NHL in the playoffs, like, man, give me more playoff games than regular season games. The other thing this new format does is it still gives big time incentive to finish first or second now. And so you want in the regular season to continue with incentive to be the best team in the league or the best team in your division. I think that continues. And because you look at the chance for them to earn the bye and that second opportunity, because the top two teams, if I'm reading this correctly, and I'm going to digest this over the next couple of days. We can talk again on Thursday, but these are my just initial thoughts on it. That those top two teams, they to finish in that position gives you a chance to fight for the bye to the third round. So you win that game, you got the bye to the third round, and now the team that loses goes in and plays the winner of the play-in matchup down there, number 7 and number 6, if you're watching the feed. So, I love that there's more playoff games because they're better TV, they're better for the fans, they're sudden death, they're exciting, and more playoff games going now. Will people say, yeah, but only one team doesn't make it now, and that's Bush? And hey, listen, it will, but compare one to what you're gaining, I think is how the best way to look at it. Compare that criticism, and let's just label them right now. The 9th place team in the CFL is the loser team.
They got to wear a big L on their helmets the next year.
Yeah, like a decal or something. Like there has to be some way to identify them the following season.
Yeah, like let's just call it that right now. And nobody, I guarantee you, fighting to not be that will make the final 3-4 weeks of the regular season very interesting.
Yeah.
The other thing, guys, just before you go on, the other thing is that it keeps teams and fan bases more engaged longer into the year. And, because their team still has hope. And then the last one is if that number 8 seed somehow gets a championship, we've got the makings of the great Cinderella upset story of the decade or whatever.
Now you're working for Disney. Now you're grasping. I don't think that 8 teams going through that grind and getting there. The other thing though, like Greg and I were talking earlier though, it could keep a lot of teams into it longer, but you also have a lot of possibility of teams just resting guys and load management.
Yeah, I wonder how that will unfold. I mean, it really flies against. I mean, I've been many times in the booth, almost screaming out loud when coaches play their starting quarterback like Trevor in a game that they don't need to improve their position in the playoff, setup. I have been screaming that your risk reward quotient there is off. It's just awful. If he just jams a thumb on a helmet and he can't be right for the first round of the playoffs, like that is too big a risk when you can't improve in the final 2 or 3 weeks of the season. Some coaches do it, some coaches won't. They will play all their guys because they're deathly afraid that if they lose a couple of games in the regular season to end the year, that momentum will carry into the playoffs, and then, because it becomes infectious to lose like winning does. So that's the fear, I think, for a lot of coaches. But I will be interested to see how they handle that. I think even if you're, let's be honest, you're the top 1 or 2 teams in the league, in any league, you're clearly better than 7 and 8. But I would suggest, and again, you guys know I'm a half full guy, but I would suggest that the difference between 7 and 8 and 2 and 3 won't be that much. It might even be a healthy receiver. It might be. So I think your concern is a good one because let's see how they handle that when it comes down the stretch. But again, regular season incentive to finish first or second now, because you can earn the bye in the second round. So that's 4 teams that now will have incentive to play all their guys at the end of the year to make sure they lock up first, second in their divisions. So it does that, and you don't want to be the loser team. So the bottom half of the league, I mean, it's got some issues that may arise, and that's one of them, especially with fantasy coming. But I think there's enough positives here that when I look at it, I go, and the biggest one, honestly, is more playoff games. You give me more playoff games somehow, some way. I'm all for that. Playoff football is like, I mean, you guys know. I mean, you lock in the NFL, CFL, doesn't matter. We're locking in the playoff football.
High school playoff football. Call CIS or whatever, it's U Sport now.
Yes,
I sign me up for a junior, unless it's the Hilltops and Thunder. The rest of it's like,
But wouldn't your same argument about winning first now be lesser, because you now no longer get that automatic bye to the West Final? You still have an increased chance of injury in that Page playoff.
Yeah, but by finishing, I mean, it depends. I think if you're in that first spot, and let's say there's two games left in the regular season, and these are all hypotheticals, of course, but if you're in that number one spot and you're going in the final 2 weeks of the season, and you can't drop to 3, then that may change the way you approach those final 2 games. But if you could drop to 3 and be in a different position, let's just say when it comes to your division, then that's incentive. I think the fact that there's a bye on the line after that first round for that that 1 and 2 matchup out of the gate, that's incentive to make sure you're in those positions. So yeah, I mean, Greg, I thought when you guys talked about sort of having the playoff format be that 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, that was sort of the way I thought about it. So I want to digest this format better. I thought if they were going to make a change, that would probably be it, like kind of scrap the divisions when it comes to the playoffs and go with 1 versus 8, that kind of thing. And maybe even eliminate the buys. But guys, honestly, I have heard the criticism at length about having only 1 win to get to the championship game is terrible. It's no good. Why do we do it? It's not fair. It's not right. It's a small league, and that's why, for the people that are complaining about it, they say, that's why I don't watch. I don't watch because you could just win 1 game and get to the championship. That's crazy. Well, now you can't.
Oh, what do you think about
that? Fans then? Is that simple?
No, What do you think about? And we knew this was coming as well. Kicking it off, May long weekend, last regular season game, Canadian Thanksgiving, rookie camp in Saskatoon, end of April. I joked earlier, that's also known as mid-February. You don't know what you're going to get up there. How much snow's up there right now? That's where you are.
Yeah, up in Saskatoon. Just talked at the Hunseth Power Lines construction company AGM, and
they should have given you a jacket
this afternoon. I went and got this. I had the suit and tie on, and guys, like Fries Tallman, we went out and saw John and the guys out there, Barney, and they were, I walk out of there going, man, these are guys that you want to be hockey teammates with, man. You like you could just tell the stories flying around and how cool it was, and all the guys talking about, their time together, both on the job and off it. And that was the same at the HPL luncheon and AGM today. I look out in the audience, and my first sort of thought was, and I just sort of ad-libbed this and threw it in, but my first thought was looking at 90% of these guys. And they're real guys. I mean, these are guys that are power pole builders, and they're doing real stuff here, men's work. And like Jerry and George said, if you and I working at full capacity, we'd be good as just one man.
Yeah.
But no, I opened up the thing by saying, when you're a public speaker, they tell you that you should look at the audience and imagine that they're all naked. And I said, no offense, guys, but I think I'm going to scrap that this time.
But like having a rookie camp in Saskatoon, in Winnipeg, Edmonton, 3rd week of April, man, we could we could see who knows what for weather.
Yeah, but I hate people to think that I'm sort of trying to make up reasons to like stuff, because there are things that I don't think have been necessary when it came to some of these changes coming forward. But I like this one. I do. I mean, first of all, moving it up at the back end of the season so that we play the championship in early November is a no-brainer. You get a better chance for weather there, so it won't be a factor in the outdoor stadiums. You have less sort of NFL crossover, which I think also is good. I always think sometimes that we obsess too much about that. Like, our ratings are fantastic in TSN and football, and yes, we want to keep building it, but to me, when we're drawing 350 to 500,000 or 600,000, sometimes 1 million a game in the regular season, if it's the Riders, Bombers, or something, we're talking fantastic ratings. A lot of the times better than hockey in our country. Now, I know there's more games and all that, and I'm not saying football's bigger than hockey in our country, so don't text me on that. But I just, I don't think we should obsess over, are we going head-to-head with a game out of Baltimore or something. But having said that, yes, it could be cold, and here's what you tell all the guys that come up from Alabama and Oklahoma and all these places that are playing in Saskatchewan this year. It's cold in training camp, and it's going to be cold in the championship, so get used to it.
And here's some mosquito repellent for the in-between.
And there's 2 seasons in Saskatchewan, football season and winter. So get used to it. Yeah. And there's a little bit of wind. So you might as well get used to that too.
You forgot construction season.
Oh, yeah. Well, you already went through some construction on the way up.
Yeah, and a whole bunch of really cool dudes that I hung out with today. And
you never answered my question though. Yeah, the Freeze Tallman guys, man. That was a fun visit. We got stuff to talk about now for weeks. The Amar Doman wood. I don't know how many times I've seen that, and I'm like, oh, I never connected the dots. Glenn was like, it's Amar Doman stuff back here. Johnny was taking us through the yard there. Okay, you never answered my question. Is there quite a bit of snow in Saskatoon? Because I know when you go north of Saskatoon, PA and up in there, oh man, it's still winter heavy.
Not really. Absolutely not really. I mean, little bits here and there on the parking lots and stuff, but the highways are completely dry. Or at least the one from Regina up to here are completely dry. Okay. And just a little bit, just a trace of snow.
Okay, here's the question I wanted to ask you guys, because a guy texted me this last night. We kind of jive, him and I think the same way a lot of times. If you've been watching the Stanley Cup Playoffs, if you watch the Stanley Cup Playoffs any year, you get really annoyed of a lot of the commercials that go on. Like, I know last year it was the Boston Pizza one. It was like, okay, I love Boston Pizza as much as the next guy. Good pint. But Rogers, again this year, if you're watching the Stanley Cup Playoffs, they have It's Our Game. Guy texted me and said, is it really? Is it? What makes you think it's still our game? And he's Canadian. And I said, you bring up a good point, sir.
Yeah, he does. The last time we won a championship, a Canadian team anyway.
93.
And the Olympics. Yeah, and the Olympics.
And the World Junior.
Yeah. Is it still our game? I mean, we're hanging on to the...
there's the slogan.
The history.
Rogers, we're hanging on.
Hang in there, baby.
We're hanging on to the history. We do remember vaguely when we were champions in Canada, but that's again that's why I'm cheering for. And as much as I hate to say it, the goal was in. I mean, it was in. I mean, in that game with Edmonton, I mean, it's in. The goal, the puck is across the line. Like, come on. I mean, you can argue the process all you want. And you can argue what the refs saw and how that all communicated and all that stuff. But if you just want to know if it was a goal or not, it was in.
Here's a learning piece, teaching piece. In hour 2, had a buddy I know on, Tarrington Wyonzek, refs pro, lots of junior, reffed in the Olympics. And I just said, how did this go down from your lens as a ref? And he said, well, that ref, he went behind the net. He looked at it. He didn't point. He said there kind of might have been an element of almost panic or just confusion. Saw what he saw. They get together. Then he says they have to make a call on the ice. So then that's where they gathered. Anyone else see anything? Did anyone else? I'm 99% sure that was in. So they make the call on the ice, goal. Then that opens up the video review. They make the right call. Everybody knows it was a goal. So it was actually very interesting to see his take on how it happens. And he goes, yeah, it's like human element. What did he say? He says, yeah, you'll get a refs a lot of time that juice you about, the human element and all that. He said, well, your guy just missed a tap in at the side of the net. How come you didn't put that in? Yeah. I like cheeky refs.
Well, there's a human... Yeah, there's the human element, and then there's the element of why replay has been instituted into pro sports. And the reason for it really is the obvious error. Not the microscopic, millimeter here or there. That's not what it's been for. We have to still rely on the officials. I've said it many times, but I think the CFL has gone too far in getting the command center involved too often over small things and things that are minute. Like, it has to be a glaring, obvious mistake where everybody watching on TV goes, oh, clearly that was XYZ. And I thought they would be stretching. Like, clearly he couldn't see the whole puck, but by where the part that he could see was, it was in. The puck was in.
What are you doing for supper tonight?
I'm probably going to drive over to Save On Foods and get a sandwich because
I might text you a couple. There's a couple of hidden gems. That's my city you're in. There's a couple of hidden gems that I can tell you about not too far away if you really want to treat yourself. If you have that Farhan kind of per diem.
Oh no, he gets the big money. But I'll spend it if it's a good sandwich. I'll go. You text me on that later because I'm going to start crashing on pinball stuff because the dog's breakfast comes up on Thursday, and I'm going to co-MC that again this year. So I'm looking forward to getting up there and talking with pinball.
Right on. All right, we'll talk again on Thursday. Thanks, Glenn.
Okay, thanks, gentlemen.
See you later. Press coverage of Glen Suitor for Freeze Tallman Lumber. If you need Trex decking, you're thinking about it, next week the sale starts. I'm in the market. Big Trex decking sale. Freeze Tallman Lumber, Fort Capel, Regina, the local guys and girls. And if you don't want to do the job, they'll find someone to do it for you. Sponsor of press coverage. Okay, what pick are we at now?
We are. Winnipeg took someone I was hoping the Riders would take.
That's a hard name to say.
Hard name to say. Defensive lineman tests really well. Two offensive linemen went first and second. Then a linebacker went to Edmonton. And here we are.
Colson, you want to try and attempt it?
No.
Newer.
No.
Newer is his first name.
Yeah.
But can I take a point of personal privilege on this one? The entire argument that you must cheer for the last Canadian team in the Stanley Cup Playoffs is a joke and garbage, and I hate every second.
I've told Glenn this. I don't do that. I never signed up for that.
And the value that people put on Canada hasn't won the Stanley Cup since '93. Like, can we just drop it? That's a terrible argument.
It's our game.
It still is our. Well,
we're hanging on.
Like, don't get me wrong. The Worlds, the juniors, all that. Yes, throwing the Stanley Cup playoffs in there. No.
Time to break. SportsCage streaming through our YouTube channel. We're waiting for the Riders' first pick. We're going to keep you updated as soon as that happens. We are on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM. CFL draft is underway. No players from Saskatchewan taken yet. We're waiting for the Riders to pick. Hoping it comes down. We're still on the air. Might be tight, though. CFL also announcing 2027. The playoffs are going to change. Story will be up at sportscage.com on that. Western Hockey League conference finals continue tonight. They're tied 1-1 in Medicine Hat. Prince Albert is in there. 7 p.m. puck drop. Everett tries to wrap it up against Penticton. They're up 3-0. 7:30 puck drop. National Hockey League. Ducks, Oilers, 8 p.m. Anaheim trying to oust the Oilers. Minnesota and Dallas tied 2-2. And then the early one starting right about now. Buffalo, Boston. Buffalo trying to advance. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays in Boston taking on the Red Sox in the SportsCage.com poll today. Do you think that the city of Regina should approve the partial sale of Real to Brandt? Vote at SportsCage.com. It's for Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Regina Steelcraft Doors. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the schedule thing? Do you want to talk about the Brandt thing some more?
I'm good about the Brandt thing.
Love it. Love the pictures that were released. Look at this.
Hey.
At Queen City Distilleries.
I love a good render as much as the next guy being a graphics guy. They don't always look like this when they're done.
I guarantee this room ain't going to look like that. Like I said, that looks like the high roller room at the Bellagio.
I was going to say that's like a Vegas restaurant you just walk by.
Bravo. Look at this. Look at this auditorium. The seating up. They're going to do a lot of work.
They got a mezzanine going on.
They're going to bring in some, like I said, there's no way that's Fog Dog and Wonderland playing there. They're going to be bringing in some acts.
Mr. Bubble? Mr. Bublé?
Richard Marx.
There you go.
Right here waiting for you.
Piano Man?
And then that's if the entrance even looks half that good. Wow.
What's with that safe door on the left-hand side?
Maybe that's a speakeasy.
It must be.
Private.
There you go.
The private speakeasy.
Seeing the sports equipment on the other side, I would expect.
The sports bar on one side, the jazz club on the other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jazz man. Coat check. It's been a while since I used a good coat check.
People still use coat checks?
Do you know what it's the worst when you go somewhere in the winter and you have your jacket and it's like a nice affair. It'd be like, I can't hang my jacket over the chair. I look like an absolute rube. And you got to go to the coat check. Where's the coat check? And then you take cash. You feel bad. Oh, I know where it was. It was at Evening in Greece at the Delta, or maybe there was something else that we went to at the Connexus. And I was like, ooh, I got to check my coat. I don't have any cash. I look cheap. Can I e-transfer you?
What's your email?
Get this. On this day in music, you know I love throwing this out. You and I will remember this. You, Colson, not so much. In 2003, Apple launched the iTunes Store, the first widely successful legal music download service. Available to only Mac users, the store let US-based customers download the music they wanted for just 99 cents per song without subscription fees. Apple also offered groundbreaking personal use rights, including burning songs onto an unlimited number of CDs for personal use and playing the songs on up to 3 Macintosh computers.
See, I don't remember that starting, but I've definitely done that still. I was
you have no idea. The
R.I.P.
Napster,
LimeWire. There's another one. Was it Hotwire? I can't remember. But
no, I missed that. But I've burned CDs. Don't worry, I've done that.
Remember the entire Apple controversy when they started changing people's music? So people would rip their CDs to put on these MP3 players. If you had iTunes, it would actually take so if you had a special old disc that you can't get and the remaster would come up, they would automatically change your song to the remaster.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was a big thing. So a lot of people were losing their original tracks.
I remember this when this came out. I never had a Macintosh computer, let's be honest. But then when iTunes became the what were those things called? iPods?
No, the iPods.
The iPods.
Yeah.
And then I remember buddies and they would go and they're buying this music. And I'm like, oh, are you stupid? LimeWire, Napster in this little portable MP3 thing. And then they started, and Napster and LimeWire started going south, and it was junk, and you couldn't get anything. And then, but then once you could sign up for the monthly, it didn't feel as, I didn't feel as abused.
A young Greg McCulloch had a good side hustle going at McNaughton High, burning CDs in the 90s.
CD burner.
Oh, yeah. You can give me $20, can give me a song list. I had like over 3,000 MP3s on my computer. I had custom the decals on the CD.
CRA know about this little side hustle? Statute of limitations.
Yeah,
it's
statute of
over.
limitations. Lars from Metallica probably hates me, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, he hated everyone. Yeah, 2003, Apple launched the iTunes store. Very, very interesting. I struck a nerve. Roscoe, with Brandt taking over, it will be nothing but good. I will be nothing but good. I think he meant it will be nothing but good. Warren says it may not be our game anymore, but it's still a lot of Canadian boys who make the game. It is.
That's true.
Yeah, but it's everywhere now. Like back in the 90s, man, like Latvia wasn't very. Now Latvia's Hungary. I talked to my old teammate who's part of the Hungarian Ice Hockey Federation. Like, they've come a long way.
Well, there's two things happening here. The rest of the world has caught up to Canada, and some of our best athletes are no longer playing hockey. It's that simple.
Oh, just like we've caught up in basketball.
Yeah, like 100%.
Canadians.
Like growing up in Mooseman, we had hockey, we had baseball, and when you had high school sports. Now they've got everything from football to pickleball to everything in between. Kids aren't just playing hockey anymore.
And new Canadians, you're not expecting them to come over here, slap on some blades on a pair of boots, and go twirl.
No.
Like, that's just not how it is. It's like if you and I went over there, we wouldn't be playing, what's the game where they kick the ball over the net instead of volleyball? That's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so in 15, 20 years from now, I have no idea. And hockey's so expensive.
Well, and that's it. It's a tough entry sport nowadays.
Everything's so expensive. Football is expensive.
It's, no longer can you go to local co-op and pick up a $20 twig.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the home center.
Yeah.
Or the McLeods.
Oh, I miss McLeods.
Riders. So what do we got? 6 here. We're
drafted 9th. Grey Cup champions, baby.
What did the
Eric Roscoe, linebacker?
Eric Roscoe, linebacker from the popular Angelo State.
Going to the Stamps.
Stamps. Wagon.
With their new ugly jerseys that the CFL accidentally leaked in an ad.
Sweet stadium. It's a SportsCage, streaming at sportscage.com. It's been a fun show for Saskatchewan Lotteries on this Tuesday. Greg from the Piffles podcast. What did you say? You guys are going live tonight?
8 o'clock. Every Tuesday we go live now. Like degenerates.
What? So yeah, you'll be right in the thick of things for the draft.
Yeah, I got my ticker in. I got a pick a Zin graphic ready. It's going to be stretching my limits. Let's put it that way.
So the Riders haven't picked yet. Looked like BC, their war room, they were pretty excited about whoever they got.
Well, yeah, it looks like Calgary didn't take who they thought Calgary might take, and they're going to take them because they were giving each other high fives minute Calgary.
Oh, the old switcheroo. Or the old miss.
A little draft day in real life.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know what the Riders are going to do. You think it's O-line?
I think D-line.
D-line?
I think, like I said, they need a guy to rotate in with Ali Saad. O-line, they're pretty much set. I won't say set, but there's going to be. It's a deep offensive line draft this year.
We're going to have, we're staying here. If it's just past the top of the hour, we're going to have it in sports, who the Riders take. We'll have a full recap tomorrow. Story. Follow sports. Go to sportscage.com. They'll have stuff up as soon as it happens this evening and tonight as well. I get to talk to Luke Mullender tomorrow on the show. Very curious. Luke's take on this, on the changing of the playoffs.
That'd be interesting. It's funny because we had Luke on early last season talking about the draft. I think it was our draft show actually, and we asked him about it, and he goes, "Honestly, if I'm a CFL team, I let the other. I don't care who I draft. I let the other teams coach him up for 3 years and then sign him in free agency," which is interesting coming from a Canadian player. He doesn't care about the draft.
Yeah. Now that I remember, I think he was. That's where I'm like, go over, do whatever, lose draft picks, pay money, win the Grey Cup.
Well, and that's it with the
Repeat.
And it's funny because if you look at some of the first overall draft picks for every team, some CFL account put the graphic up this week. Maybe 2 of those picks have ever panned out. Like the CFL draft is such a crapshoot, especially on these first overall picks.
I was looking. That's CFL Stats Geek.
No, I think actually it was his.
On Instagram.
Yeah, that was his.
Had draft picks by schools and played status 2019 to 2025. The Riders have taken since 2019 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids for the University of Saskatchewan.
Yep.
U of R Rams, they've taken 1. That logo's weird. 1, 2, 3. They've taken 3 from what I count. So 9 Saskatchewan-born players since 2019.
Yeah. Oh, the Riders love their Sasky boys, and that's good too, because especially on the offensive line, like you think about it, you have Ben Heenan, and obviously they brought up Ferland from the Thunder. Like the Sasky boys can play. And then actually a few years ago, BC went on a U of S run. Like every second player they drafted was from the U of S. Like Saskatchewan puts out some really good football players. Plain and simple.
Absolutely. And it's just getting better and better and better. Okay, thanks for coming by, man. Live tonight, Piffles Podcast. You can tune in, right?
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Colson, good job. We'll stick around here for a bit. We'll wait and see if we can get the Riders pick for you. If not, again, sportscage.com. I'll be back tomorrow with such guests as Luke Mullender, Jordan Schmaltz, and also the new head coach of the Swift Current Broncos. Locked in. Chat about that. Sports Cage for Saskatchewan Lotteries. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.